You won't last a week living with me, she said. I replied, I'm not leaving. Unless you fire me. The first thing she did was hand me a list. Not a friendly list. A warning list. No hot showers longer than 5 minutes. No visitors. No touching my things. No asking questions after 9 p.m. She looked me straight in the eyes and said, you won't last a week living with me. I should have walked away. Instead, I heard myself say, I'm not leaving, unless you fire me. Her name was Eleanor Price, and this job, live-in caretaker, was supposed to be temporary. 6 weeks, max. The agency warned me she was difficult. Recently widowed. Sharp tongue. Sharper rules. What they didn't warn me about was the loneliness in her eyes. The first night, I understood why everyone quit. She corrected the way I set the plates. Criticized how I folded towels. Timed my footsteps at night like they were crimes. When I made tea, she said, that's not how my husband liked it. When I apologized, she snapped, I didn't ask for sympathy. By day 3, I hadn't heard her laugh. By day 4, I hadn't heard her say thank you. But on day 5, something small happened. I dropped a glass. It shattered across the kitchen floor, loud and final. I froze, waiting for the explosion. Instead, Eleanor went silent. Her hand gripped the counter. Her breathing changed. I realized then, it wasn't anger in her eyes. It was fear. She whispered, almost to herself, he dropped one too, the night before the hospital. I knelt down and said softly, I'll clean it up. She nodded, still staring at the floor like it held a memory she couldn't escape. That was the first crack, not in the glass, but in the walls she built. The next morning, I found her sitting in the dark living room, fully dressed, staring at a framed photo. Her husband. Smiling. Alive. I didn't hire you to watch me grieve, she said without looking up. I know, I replied. I'm here to help you live. She scoffed. Living is overrated. I paused. Then said, so is being alone. That made her look at me. Really look. From that day on, she stopped timing my showers. Weeks passed. She still complained, but less. She still snapped, but softer. One afternoon, I cooked dinner without asking. Her favorite dish, based on a recipe scribbled on the back of an old envelope I found in a drawer. She took one bite and froze. You shouldn't have done this, she said, voice shaking. I wanted to, I replied. She put the fork down. Her hands trembled. He used to make this when I was tired, she whispered. I stopped cooking it after he died. It felt like cheating on my grief. I didn't know what to say. So I sat with her. Sometimes kindness doesn't speak, it stays. The twist came the night she fell. I heard the thud from upstairs and ran. She was on the floor, pain etched across her face, pride fighting the tears. Don't call anyone, she said. I don't want to be a burden. You're not, I said, already dialing emergency services. At the hospital, she clutched my hand like it was the only thing keeping her anchored. In that sterile room, under harsh lights, she finally broke. I push people away because everyone leaves anyway, she cried. If I make them go first, it hurts less. That was the moment everything changed. I said, I stayed when you told me I wouldn't. I'm still here. And I'm not going anywhere. Her grip tightened. Recovery was slow. So was healing. One morning, she surprised me with coffee. Another day, she asked about my family. Then one evening, she laughed, actually laughed, at a terrible joke I told. I guess you lasted longer than a week, she said. I smiled. Guess so. Months later, she handed me a letter. I know this wasn't in your contract, she said, eyes glossy, but you gave me something I didn't think I deserved anymore. Inside was a recommendation, and a bonus. At the bottom, in shaky handwriting, she wrote, "Thank you for staying when I made it hard." When I packed to leave, she stood at the door. "You know," she said, "this house doesn't feel so heavy anymore." "That's because you let someone in," I replied. She nodded. "Promise me something." "What?" "If you ever hear someone say they don't need anyone, don't believe them." I promised. Kindness doesn't always come with gratitude. Compassion doesn't always feel good in the moment. But sometimes, choosing to stay, when walking away is easier, can change a life. Sometimes, it saves too. And sometimes, the week you were warned about, becomes the beginning of healing.